Coming to you from Creekside Country Club in Salem, Oregon, it's Sunset in Salem, a daily recap of the 61st Annual NAIA Men's Golf Championships. Now here's your hosts from the Creekside Clubhouse, Mark Colachico and Barrett Henderson.
Welcome to another edition of Sunset in Salem. Barrett Henderson joined by Mark Colachico, and we're going to be talking all about the NAIA Men's Golf National Championships, Day 3 from here at Creekside Golf Club. Mark, another fantastic day of golf.
Definitely, Barrett. A lot of jumping on the leaderboard, as we'll see a little bit later. A little bit of weather problems, as we talked about last night, that everybody's talking about that, unfortunately. We had a little bit of rain come through, but, not too bad. Wind, it wasn't whipping too bad out there today, but it did play havoc with some of the scores. Fortunately, that happened in the morning, and so the afternoon groups, which were the leaders yesterday, really weren't affected by that all that much.
To say that the rain came down would be an understatement. We had a downpour at times out there today, and some big heavy drops, but a lot of great scores posted, and you saw Wilhelm Bogstrand again go out, and he was actually still on the course, 1 under right now still, but Nathan Anderson still there at the top, and Brandon Meltzer, our leader from yesterday.
Yeah, Brandon Meltzer put up a really nice round yesterday. I talked with a couple people here at Creekside, and they said that's about the closest that anybody's come in about 10 years to breaking the course record. He came within 1 stroke, posted a 7 under 65. The course record is 64, held by a former PGA professional, Peter Jacobson, who actually designed this course. So you would expect him to at least hold the course record, but Brandon almost broke that. It came close to tying it. An unfortunate bogey on 1, which played as the easiest hole yesterday. So if that hiccup didn't happen, he could have he would have tied the course record, which would have been a phenomenal feat.
Now we have another angle on the hole behind us here, and we'll take a shot at that right now, hole number 18. And Mark, that really has been the toughest hole for all the golfers this week.
All 3 days, you're right, Barrett. It's been the toughest hole. It played a full stroke over par on Tuesday, played almost over half a stroke over par yesterday, and it's about, I'd say, almost 4/10 of a stroke above par today. So as you can see back there, people, it's not a fun hole to play, especially as your finishing hole, and tomorrow, that's where the championship could be decided.
Yeah, that tough final 3 holes, 16, 17, 18, has just been horrendous for a lot of golfers this week. So we're actually going to go ahead and throw that team leaderboard up right now, and this was a 5:45. Things have changed a little bit, and I know Mark's going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, and as you said, as of 5:45, it has changed over the last hour or so. Oklahoma Christian and Our Lady of the Lake are currently tied at 15 over. Our Lady of the Lake is as both teams are still out on the course. Our Lady of the Lake has an even par round going. Oklahoma Christian is 6 over. And then sitting there in third is Oklahoma City at 17 over. They've got a 2 under round going. And then Johnson and Wales is in fourth. They're at plus 20, followed by William Woods at plus 25. And Texas Wesleyan is at plus 28 in sixth. And they're sitting in the clubhouse with a 1 under par, 287. So all around, pretty good day. Oklahoma Christian, the defending national champion, is sitting atop the leaderboard, tied with Our Lady of the Lake from San Antonio, Texas. And then the number 1 ranked team in the country, Oklahoma City, is right there in third. So we're going to be joined now by head coach Ron Sisler, head coach of the Corbin University Warriors, who is the host school for this. Ron, how you doing?
Doing great, Mark. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks. Talk a little bit about this tournament. You guys have played all 3 days so far. Tough conditions, not too terribly bad at times, but it has been just pigs and chickens out there.
Yeah, it's, when we first found out that we got the bid for this a year and a half ago, we were really excited, and everybody was worried about Oregon weather, and it has certainly produced a little bit of a factor in the championships. But I think all in all, the golf course has held up. I think the kids are enjoying it. Anything that I've heard from coaches has been extremely positive, and we've just had a great response, and so we're very excited this year. Already looking forward to being a part of it next year.
And you talked about it a little bit. You do have the bid for next year already. We are the host in 2013. It'll be a week earlier than it is now, so maybe the weather will cooperate a little bit better as it did last week here in the Willamette Valley. But look a little bit ahead towards that. I know there's a lot of planning, but now you've gone through it. What's kind of your mindset heading towards next year?
Well, as a head coach, my mindset is to try and find a few more players next year. I graduate personally. We graduate 3 really good kids, and we're going to miss them. But I'm really happy that they had the opportunity to play in an event like this. So my work goes to recruiting and getting some players that can play in this type of an event. And then, of course, we change our mindset a little bit to the preview in October, taking care of conference events in the fall, and so it probably take about 3 weeks off, and maybe not from recruiting, but maybe a couple weeks off, and hit the pavement again and start planning for next season. So.
Look a little bit towards tomorrow. Unfortunately, your guys didn't qualify, but you do have a freshman, Jared Lambert, that's sitting right around the cut line for the individuals. So it gives you a chance to continue as a coach for this 4th and final day. But put yourself kind of in the shoes of maybe the leader at Oklahoma Christian, David Lynn. If that was you, what kind of mindset would you have? How would you handle your players?
Well, I probably would do the exact same thing that I've been doing all week. Go out and have a bite to eat, get them back to the hotel, relax a little bit, watch a little TV, maybe sit down and talk about some intermediate goals for tomorrow, and certainly Jared and I, if he ends up making the cut, we'll have a little conversation. As a matter of fact, after we get done here, if it looks like he's going to hold steady, which I think he will, we're going to probably go out to the putting green a little bit, hit a few putts, just kind of get a little rhythm back, and just kind of decompress a little bit. There's a lot of pressure out here, and there was a lot of pressure on Jared when he was playing the last few holes. He knew we had a mark that we thought he had to shoot, and fortunately he shot under what we thought he had to shoot to be able to hold, to be able to make the cut, and it looks like he's going to make it. So there's just you try not to do anything that's out of the ordinary, but you obviously have to get him home and get him to sleep and get him some rest and stuff like that. So.
And as everybody's been talking this week about the weather, it's overcast pretty much all 3 days so far, but tomorrow's looking pretty promising. How do you feel this golf course is going to play?
Well, I think as the afternoon, it depends. If the wind kicks up, this golf course can show its teeth big time. And really, the problem is that when it got wet, is when the balls, you didn't get any roll. You really had a hard time carrying some, shots that would hit and go 20, 30 yards, earlier in the week or in the practice rounds or late last week. They're hitting and they're going 2 yards. And so, you got a golf course that's 6,800 yards long. It's probably the longest 6,800 yard golf course that you'll see. And if the wind kicks up, look for scores to. Just depends. I mean, if it gets really gusty tomorrow, it could be rough. But I kind of look for it to be I think it'll be the best day we've had. Honestly, I think the weather will be great, and I look for scores to go down tomorrow. I look for there to be just a gut race at the end.
Well, Coach, good luck tomorrow. Thank you for coming on, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Sigh.
Hey, ergonomic desk chair. Something wrong?
I'm useless, bed. With Red Lion's improved wireless internet, I never get sat on anymore. People just work on their laptops wherever they feel most comfortable.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't been emailed from in days.
Guilty.
We were driving from Portland to California for a bike race when a tire went flat. We limped into Les Schwab, but it was closed for the night. Hoping for some good Les Schwab mojo, we began changing it ourselves. Just then, John appeared and reopened the store. He quickly assessed that all the tires were about to go and got us a new set so we could make the race. Super John deserves a medal for rescuing our road trip. I'm Kim Brown, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition.
Welcome back to Sunset in Salem. I'm Mark Colachico, once again joined by Barrett Henderson. Barrett, going to get a chance now to look at the individual leaderboard. Some guys are still out on the golf course, as you can see behind us, but let's talk about what it is as of right now.
Yeah, we already mentioned his name a couple times, Brandon Meltzer. Right now, your leader, Johnson and Wales, Florida. Right now, he's 5 under today, 1 over, but 1 over is not too bad at all considering the conditions this week.
Yeah, definitely. I'd take a 1 over any day out in this, what we've seen weather-wise here this week. So
I'd personally take a 1 over anytime, anywhere. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
But, he's coming off kind of a high from yesterday. 7 under for a round that put him 6 under, had a 4-stroke lead coming in today. That lead has been dwindled down to 2 over Nathan Anderson and Wilhelm Bogstrand. So, if you're Meltzer, what are your mindset coming through? He's coming through some tough 16, 17, 18 to finish out today's round and then possibly be the overnight leader at the national championship event.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw that individual leaderboard up right now as we're talking about it. But if I'm Brandon Meltzer, I'm doing exactly what I've done the last 2 days. I'm eating the same meal. If I had the Frosted Flakes for breakfast, I'm eating them again tomorrow. I'm doing exactly the same thing, and I'm not going to change my routine. And I think tomorrow when we see the sun come out, I think the Floridian's going to come out as well for Meltzer, and I think he's going to play real well. And I think it's going to be a melting pot out here on the course.
Yeah, and that's a good pun right there. Is definitely a melting pot on the course, and I think you're right. That Floridian is going to come out in Meltzer, and I think he's going to possibly put up a really super low score, especially if we get good weather out here and if these greens and these fairways can dry out. But we had Wilhelm Bogstrand on yesterday, and he talked about fairways and greens, and that's the mindset of any golfer in a championship event on the final day, holding the lead. If you're fairways and greens, you're not going to find much trouble out here.
Well, I think if you look at one golfer who's been consistent all week, it's Wilhelm Bogstrand. That guy, he comes out 1 under the first day, 1 under yesterday, and currently he's also 1 under right now and 3 under. And so Wilhelm's doing a very good job out there on the course. And that leaderboard we just put up, that was a 545. So again, things have changed a little bit. But Nathan Anderson, Texas Wesleyan, another guy, was really creeped up. He was a leader after the first day, and right now he's sitting tied for second.
Yeah, and we'll talk with Coach Bobby Cornett from Texas Wesleyan when he comes on later about Nathan Anderson. And you talk about consistency with Bogstrand from Oklahoma Christian. Nathan Anderson's been pretty consistent as well.
He really has. And a couple other guys, Aaron Flores from Our Lady of the Lake, 3 under today. And Julian Taylor from William Woods was 4 under today. So there's a couple pair of golfers who had a fantastic round here on the third day.
Right. Well, we'll be back right after these commercials, and we'll talk about a couple great stories that have been happening here at the NAIA National Championships live at Creekside Golf Club in Salem.
Ah, sigh.
Hey, ergonomic desk chair. Something wrong?
I'm useless, bed. With Red Lion's improved wireless internet, I never get sat on anymore. People just work on their laptops wherever they feel most comfortable.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't been emailed from in days.
Guilty.
Now back to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. It's Sunset in Salem with Mark Colachico and Barrett Henderson.
Welcome back to Sunset in Salem. Mark Colachico, Barrett Henderson here at the Creekside Golf Club in Salem, Oregon. And this has been day 3 here of the NAIA Men's Golf National Championships. Mark, we talked the team standings, we talked individual standings, but now let's take a little bit of time and talk about, there's a whole lot of great stories going on this week at the course.
You're right, Barrett. There are Steve Halsey from the Southern Nazarene. This is going to be his last tournament as their men's coach. He was inducted in the Women's Golf Hall of Fame last week at their national championship in Greenville, Tennessee. We've also had a father-son duo for Oklahoma Baptist with Kenny Lindsay as the coach and Chase Lindsay as the player. We also had a pretty interesting coach-player duo that you were able to highlight yesterday in Simpson University with Marcus and Mitch, Marcus being the freshman and Mitch being the senior. And Coach Joe Griffin, who's also the athletic director at Simpson University, was unable to make it up into the area until Tuesday. So rather than sending Mitch by himself, he decided to grab a freshman and said, you're going to be the coach this week, and I'll be up when I can. And then I had a chance to actually talk with Coach Griffin earlier today, and he had to reschedule a recruiting trip up in Seattle because Mitch qualified as an individual after winning the unaffiliated Group 2 tournament. So it was a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown into his plan, and fortunately Marcus, the freshman, stepped up and said, Coach, I'll go ahead and be there for him.
Well, I know it was funny when we showed up at the coaches meeting on Sunday, the youngest looking guy in there, we're like, boy, he's the coach? Simpson University, and he spoke right up, had a few questions at the coaches meeting, and Marcus, I think, had a fun week, and Mitch had a good time having him as his coach. Another great story that you mentioned, Holy Cross here. Talk a little bit about Holy Cross.
Well, Holy Cross, I was able to talk with their coaching staff, and they informed me that this little school right next door to big University of Notre Dame has never qualified for an NAIA national tournament in any sport. And if we look at the leaderboard, they're going to make the cut. So that's pretty unbelievable for a small school out of Notre Dame, Indiana.
Holy Cross just won't be known from the movie Rudy now. They've
Exactly.
made a little bit of noise here at the Men's National Golf Championships as well. Well, we're going to go ahead and play another great story, interview earlier today, and that was Coach Foster from Point Loma Nazarene, finishing his coaching career here this week at the National Championships.
Yeah.
Coach Foster, it's been a heck of a career for you, but this will be your final tournament. How does that feel?
Well, it's a little mixed feelings, I suppose. You know, all the good years that we've had in the past, and to be here the final one, we're excited for our players, and just hope we get a chance to play pretty well today and play tomorrow. We're kind of on the bubble here, it looks like.
Now, you've been coaching for 39 years?
This is the 38th year for golf.
38th year. And obviously you've had many highlights, but do you have a few that stick out in your mind of something that's been great to you?
Well, I think probably the fact that we've had, 4 players that won the NAIA National Championship individually, I think is certainly a highlight, and we've had some teams that have done well. The team has not won a national championship, but, we've been competitive at times, and so that's been fun. Probably the, premier memory would be with Sam Sear, 2-time national champion and 2-time Arnold Palmer Award winner and 2-time Nicholas Award winner, and he's got to be right there, I think, with one of the all-time greats as far as NAIA players are concerned. He's trying to play professionally. He's involved in the Asian Tour right now. He just missed the Monday qualifier playoff last week for the Nelson tournament, so he's still trying to move up and play professional golf at a high level. And so, but in terms of having him around, not only for his ability on the golf course, but he was an outstanding young man and a real representative of our university. So those are very, very special. And there's just a lot of people like that I remember. We don't have time to go into all of those, but I think it's the players and the quality of young men that have been in our program through the years.
And Coach, you've been a fixture at Point Loma and in the NAIA. Talk about how special that's been serving Point Loma and the NAIA.
Well, the NAIA has been very special for me. One of the reasons that I chose to retire this year is that we're transitioning to the NCAA Division II. And I felt like that after 44 years as a basketball coach and golf coach, NAIA coach, that this is a good time for me to make the change, and it just seemed appropriate and important to retire at the end of this year.
And it's been a good tournament for your players so far this week. Talk about how they've played and what you'd like to see out of these next 2 days.
Well, it's been a little bit of a disappointment for us. We come in with high expectations. We've got a good team, and We've had a good year, and so we're hoping to do a little bit better. I think we were, ranked 7th in golf stats and 9th in NAIA, and we know that anything can happen when you go to a tournament. It usually does, but we were hoping to have a little better results out of the tournament. I think the fact that we haven't played well, like a lot of schools here would say, the conditions have not been the greatest for scoring, and we just hit some errant shots and the weather and things like this that have kind of taken us out of being able to compete at the top. So now we're hoping to make the cut and be able to play tomorrow. So that would be probably a good goal. We can go out and post a decent number today as a team.
Well, Coach, best of luck today, and hope to see you tomorrow.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. Joined by Coach Bobby Cornett of Texas Wesleyan. Coach, how you doing?
Good.
Good round today. You guys put in a 1 under, 287. Nathan had a nice 3 under. He's sitting second. How do you feel?
Well, I feel like I don't have to worry about the sharp implements now because after the first couple of rounds we dug a pretty deep hole, but it was a good go today. The guys played pretty solid.
And right before this, we were able to have an interview with Coach Ben Foster from Point Loma, a fellow Hall of Famer just like yourself, as you were inducted earlier this week. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You've been able to work with Coach Foster a little bit at the national championships, this one being one of those. How's your relationship with Coach Foster, and how well do you know him?
I've known him for quite a while, but our paths don't cross too much because he's on the West Coast. But we're both officers in the Golf Coaches Association at different times, and I have the utmost respect for him. If he's not around, it'll be disappointing. And
then you were here earlier this year. You were able to see this course, you and your team, for the NAIA Fall Preview in October. Do you think that helped you coming in here?
Absolutely. The golf course, I really like the golf course, but down in this canyon, the wind is really tricky. And first 2 days it was pretty windy, and I think that helped us a little bit in preparation, but we didn't play very well the first 2 days. So today's round was a ray of sunshine for us.
Talking about ray of sunshine, Coach, forecast for tomorrow is 20% chance of rain, which, not being from here, you need to understand that means probably no rain, and it'll be in the 70s. So this course will be able to dry out a little bit overnight. The forecast is showing that the rain is supposed to subside about 10 o'clock this evening, and then the wind might pick up, but it'll dry it out a little bit. Do you feel like that's going to be an advantage for you guys, being from Texas, playing in the winds and keeping the ball low?
The wind we play in all the time. It's I'll just be glad to see my shadow for a change. We play in cold weather, but the winds is something we're used to, so maybe it'll help us.
Right. Well, look a little bit forward to tomorrow. I know your guys are done with their round today. They're taking a little bit of time to relax and get into a mindset of going into tomorrow. And just as a coach, what's your mindset heading into tomorrow? How are you going to deal with your players tonight, and then a little bit of a rest in the morning tomorrow before you have to tee off with a couple of the later groups?
Well, we all I try and do is diffuse the situation, take the pressure off of them. With the Hall of Fame thing, I'm sure they were kind of keyed up and trying to play well this particular year. They would any year, but with that, I think it probably put added pressure on them, and I've just been trying to take it off. And they slept in today, and I think we probably, based on what it looks like, we might have an early tee time tomorrow, so that might be okay.
Well, Coach, we want to wish you good luck, and hopefully the Rams can make a run at the end. And we'll be back right after this commercial.
There's a call to be answered. Time is still on your side. The pads still feel good. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. A new team welcomes you and challenges you. There's always room to grow. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Build character for life at championsofcharacter.org.
Welcome back to Sunset in Salem. Barrett Henderson live from the Creekside Golf Club here in Salem, Oregon. Joined now by Dave Johnson. Dave, let's see, you're Director of Athletics at Corbin, an Olympian, a man of many talents, karaoke singer?
I've tried that. I had to quit that. There was some professional direction I was going to take, but I had to stop.
Okay. Well, this week you've done a fantastic job helping out with the Champions of Character and getting some of these teams out to the local areas, elementary schools, and really doing some great community work. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's the NAIA is on fire for character, and it's been fun and an honor to represent them here in our community with the golf championships. We've been able to get into some schools, do some assemblies. We've been able to get into some community centers, into some foster agencies, and just bring these athletes in and let them talk about their experiences as golfers and how character has been a great developer in their expertise, and the kids are responding in a positive way. They've been able to get autographs from the kids, and it's just been a lot of fun to watch.
Now, has there been anything funny that's happened at the school? I know some of those autograph sessions get pretty funny.
It does. We were at Auburn Elementary, and I had 6 teams there, and I remember we had Carroll College there from Montana, and they were mobbed by kids. I mean, it was just amazing. There was 200 to 300 little elementary school kids coming up to get autographs, and they ended up running out of cards. We provided cards for them to do autographs on, and so this little kid brought out his notebook, and they started ripping paper out of the notebook and doing more autographs. So they stayed there over and over again with these kids and did autographs for probably 30 minutes until the last kid went by. So that was pretty fun to watch and see these old Montana boys work the autograph sign.
Fantastic. Dave, I know that when you came to Corbin University, you were excited about the NAIA and the Champions of Character. What all do you do at Corbin University to bring those core values there?
Well, we fortunately at Corbin, it's a Christian university, so we're able to just focus on where the Lord develops character in a student athlete. So we're able to do Bible studies with coaches, with athletes. We're able to go out into the communities and have that be a part of our educational system, where it's required to go out into the communities and do service projects like this already. So at Corbin, basically we just focus on satisfying what's already in place at Corbin, and it takes care of the character stuff. But overall for the NAIA, it's been fun to watch that. As an old Azusa Pacific athlete, way back when, 20, 30 years ago now, character was a big part of my development at Azusa Pacific University. So it's fun to be a part of that now as an administrator, to bring that to the kids, and the NAIA is 100% making sure that that's in the forefront. Championships are important. Success as athletes is very important, but who are they becoming with character? How will they represent their athletic ability beyond the NAIA is very important to them, and so it's great being part of that and part of that educational system.
Now, you mentioned your athletic background. I heard you'll be returning to the Olympics this summer. You got to be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's a big year. It's the 100th anniversary of Jim Thorpe. 1912,
wow. Okay.
Jim Thorpe won the first multi-event Olympic medal. So there's a big 100th anniversary of that this year. So any Olympic medalist from the decathlon is invited to go out to Germany to have a big celebration out there just before the Olympic Games. And it's the 20th anniversary of Dan and Dave. I'm that old Dan and Dave guy. And so Dan O'Brien and I are going to be at the trials this year doing a few things as a remembrance of the old Dan and Dave days and the commercials with Reebok back when.
You bringing back the Reebok shoes?
Yeah, I've got some old ones, some retro pump,
okay.
The pump shoes. I'll bring them out, and they leak a little bit now. It's been a few years. But yeah, it's an exciting year. It really is. And so I'm hoping I've got tickets to go into London. I'm still looking for, there's a couple sponsors that I think I'll be able to represent there, so I won't have to pay the $800 a night for staying overnight there. So if I stay there 5 or 6 days, I mean, I'm hoping I get that sponsor landed to stay to have a hotel place.
I can't imagine the Holiday Inn in London's too easy to get into right now.
No, it's packed, and the only things left, what's left right now, are the little bungalows, the villas that you can stay in there, and those are the best ones anyway. But very expensive, very very expensive.
Well, Dave, one final question for you, and it has to do with the great volunteers and staff we have at the tournament this week. And just how amazed are you? We've been great here in the hospitality area, Trader Joe's. What have you been most impressed with?
I think I'm extremely impressed with the course itself, with Creekside. The members here, the staff have just embraced this tournament and taken amazing care of us. All the spotters, all the workers out on the course, many of them are members that just love this course enough to where they're putting time into the success of kids that are on it. So that's been very impressive to be taken care of like that. And part of Red Lion has been taking great care of us. For Salem and the Salem Leadership Foundation that's helped with the service projects as well. I mean, there's just been some amazing people that have come out of the woodwork to make sure these kids are successful. And of course, here in our media room, we've had Trader Joe's taking amazing care of us. We've had our rental center, local rental center, brought in tables and furniture to make sure we had places to sit. And it's been an overall community experience that I think is something we all can learn from.
I've seen a couple of coaches doze off on these couches in here.
Yeah, it's been almost too comfortable, hasn't it?
It has.
But I think we deserve it. I think coaches deserve it. They put a lot of time into these kids, and the kids deserve to get taken care of as well. So I think that's what Rob Cashel and I, as hosts of this tournament, have tried to do, is to make sure it's an experience they never forget. You know, the Tiger Woods Center over at Nike and the banquet there, and just over and over again, there's things happening that are just people outreaching to these kids to make sure it's a great experience, because these kids are our future. These are the ones that are going to put on events like this in the future, and if we don't teach them well, they won't be as good. So again, it's an honor to be working with the conference, the Cascade Conference, and Rob Cashel as our new commissioner, and Creekside. It's a marriage made in heaven.
Well, Dave, we appreciate you taking the time and talking with us tonight. And we're actually going to talk to one of the great staff members right now. Kristen Gillette had a chance to interview her earlier today.
Sure, my name is Kristen Gillette, and I am the director of our Champions of Character program, and I am the manager of men's golf.
So you go from championship to championship. What exactly do you do at these championship events?
The championship events, we basically serve as the liaison between the host, the tournament director, and our coaches throughout the tournament. So anything that they need to know, we're getting them that information and setting up the brackets or setting up the pairings, whatever it may be.
And how's it working for the NAIA, and what are your day-to-day operations like?
As far as being here at Creekside?
Actually, just in general.
So day-to-day, well, we just wear a lot of hats, just like they do it on campus. You know, we're asked to help with setting up championship details. We're working with all our different vendors. At the same time, we're having to apply the rules that membership has set forth. With our Champions of Character program, you know, we're putting together this Live By, the student athlete college and athletic experience on how do you apply the 5 core values. So it's developing that program. So it's just a juggling act. And the nice thing about it is you can, if you want to work on something at one time, you focus on that, and you need to step away. I can turn to something that I have to do with athletic trainers, or I need to step away with that. I'm going to work on the Title IX 40th anniversary, NAIA, what we're planning to do with the NAIA. So it's nice to have that variety.
What's impressed you this week at this tournament? I know the staffing and volunteers has been great.
Oh, well, I think you answered it. I mean, it's amazing what the Creekside members have been doing here as far as volunteering and spotting, and then you have the Oregon Golf Officials Association and what they've done, and the crew that they've brought, very professional. They've really stepped up the tournament as far as pace of play guidelines for us. The scoring area has been amazing, and it's nice in my position when I can just sit back and enjoy the hospitality room. I mean, really, it's been awesome. So no complaints. I mean, obviously the weather, but I don't think that was unexpected, and it's part of the flavor of being here in Oregon. So
yeah, how do you feel about the Pacific Northwest? You liking it?
For me, I love it. It's so green, and it should be. People are great. I just have felt like being here, there's been a great energy. It's been that way from the beginning, from registration on Sunday, and what day's today? Thursday. I mean, that energy is still here. I think some have been worn down a little bit. 3 days, 2 days of hard rain. But it's been quality.
Well, Kristen, we appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, nice work.
Barry, tell me when I came in here to make too much noise.
Sigh.
Hey, ergonomic desk chair. Something wrong.
I'm useless, bed. With Red Lion's improved wireless internet, I never get sat on anymore. People just work on their laptops wherever they feel most comfortable.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't been emailed from in days.
Guilty. We were driving from Portland to California for a bike race when a tire went flat. We limped into Les Schwab, but it was closed for the night. Hoping for some good Les Schwab mojo, we began changing it ourselves. Just then, John appeared and reopened the store. He quickly assessed that all the tires were about to go and got us a new set so we could make the race. Super John deserves a medal for rescuing our road trip. I'm Kim Brown, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1950.
And we're back here in the Creekside Golf Club. Mark Olachico, Barrett Henderson, as we'll wrap things up, Sunset and Salem. But Mark, I just had a thought here, looking at the individual leaderboard, Brandon Meltzer and now his brother Jordan Meltzer creeping up as he's 1 under today. He's now tied for 8th. I don't know if we got some sort of identical brother they're playing some trick on us, but both of them are playing fantastic golf.
Well, and the entire team from Johnson & Wales is playing fantastic golf. I think they finally settled down a little bit. They've gotten used to this weather. They've gotten into a good pattern, maybe it being a sleep pattern, maybe it being a morning pattern where they're able to get up, and like you say, they might just be eating the same thing every day. They might be pounding the Frosted Flakes or the Wheaties. They might be having the same lunch. They might be sleeping in the same position. They might be tying their shoes the same way. We don't know what's going on out there.
The Reebok pumps.
Oh, you know what? You might be right. They have the Reebok pumps. They pump it 3 times, not 4.
That's
if you pump it 4, you got to deflate and start over. But I think all these teams are starting to get into a rhythm. Getting up, getting out here out to the course, getting enough practice time in. It was a little rushed on Tuesday, I think, with a lot of these top-notch teams in the rankings having to go out first and in some pretty tough weather.
Yeah, and I think that tomorrow you're going to see the teams that qualify and the individuals that qualify really take advantage of the weather. As we'll take one more look down in our opposite camera angle here at 18. Looks like one of the final groups just now on the green as day 3 is coming to a close. We'll take a look at day 4. Mark, what are you looking forward to tomorrow on the final day, and who do you think is going to pull out with the championship?
I think the biggest thing I'm going to be looking forward to, Barrett, is this 18th hole. This is going to be decide your championship, whether it's a team championship or whether it's the individual medalist. These guys are going to have to get onto this hole. It's a tough par 4, especially playing it from the tips. You can't drive that creek. That creek is not drivable from the back, so you've got to play a smart ball off the tee. You've got to put it in the fairway, and then you've got to make a decision. Depending on where they're going to put the pin placements, unfortunately we haven't been afforded that information quite yet, but we'll know a little bit later tonight. If the pin's in the back right corner or front left right behind the bunker, you have no chance. You, as a smart player, if you know you're in the lead and you're coming to the final hole of the national championship event, this bank right here is going to be packed with people. The nerves might get to you. Yeah. You might say, you might have adrenaline. You might hit it a little bit too far, or you're going to make the smart choice and you're going to lay up and you're going to play fairways and greens, get on the dance floor and two putt, take the championship home.
So you're Don Johnson in Tin Cup and you're laying up. You're not going all the way like Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm going to take the Don Johnson role on this one. I think I'm going to lay it up, and I'll come back, and maybe defend my title. If I'm Kevin Costner, I'm not taking 8 balls in the water and hoping that 9th one goes in for the highlight of the tournament. But yeah, I'm going to take that Don Johnson role. I'm going to lay up and I'm going to 2-putt and take the trophy home.
Probably a wise choice. Well, tomorrow leaders get off at 9:20.
Roughly about 9:20. That hopefully will be the last group of leaders. We were fortunate today. Brandon Meltzer and Wilhelm Bogstrom actually played in the same group, so that was a nice little mono-e-mono battle, so hopefully that'll happen again tomorrow. But the team leaders are going to start teeing off about 8:30 in the morning, going off hole 1, and they'll end just about 9:20, having 5 tee times every 10 minutes. So if you're out there and you want to come and watch, it is a free event. Come on out to Creekside Golf Club, catch this final day of the National Championship event.
Yeah, definitely, and encourage everyone to go to golfstat.com, check out the final standings as they come in, and looks like our last groups are coming in now as last reported holes through 15, so this might be the final group out here right now, and it looks like one of the golfers just picked his ball up and chucked it into the creek, so maybe some frustration going down on day 3, we don't know. But as we close the show, we're going to have the leaderboards come up again. Those are from 5:45. But right now, we'll go ahead and leave it with Brandon Meltzer. He's 7 under today. He's 1 under, and he is through 15 right now. So for Mark Colachico, I'm Barrett Henderson. This has been Sunset in Salem, and we'll be back tomorrow with our final show.
Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned tomorrow night here on NAIA.org for more action from the NAIA Men's Golf National Championships.